The Great Depression was a dark period in American history. It started in 1929 and lasted for a decade. The stock market crashed, wiping out fortunes and shattering dreams. Millions lost their jobs, homes, and savings. People struggled to survive, standing in long lines for bread and soup. Farmers left their land, driven away by dust storms and poverty. The nation faced its greatest challenge since the Civil War. The Great Depression tested the spirit of the American people. It also forced the government to rethink its role in the economy. The 1920s, known as the Roaring Twenties, seemed like a time of prosperity. The economy boomed, fueled by new industries like automobiles and radios. People invested heavily in the stock market, hoping to get rich quickly. However, beneath the surface, trouble was brewing. Farmers faced falling crop prices. Wages for workers did not keep up with rising productivity. Many people were buying goods on credit, accumulating debt. The stock market became overvalued, with prices not reflecting the true worth of companies. This created a bubble that was bound to burst. On October 29, 1929, the stock market dramatically crashed. This catastrophic day became known as Black Tuesday. Panic selling gripped terrified investors as stock prices plummeted. Banks, heavily invested in the volatile market, suffered huge losses. Many banks failed, wiping out countless people's life savings. Businesses, unable to get essential loans, closed their doors. The crash sent devastating shockwaves through the American economy. It marked the tragic beginning of the Great Depression. As if the economic crisis wasn't enough, a natural disaster struck the Great Plains. Years of drought and overfarming turned fertile land into a dust bowl. Massive dust storms swept across the region, burying crops and homes. Thousands of farm families, known as Okies, were forced to migrate west in search of work and a better life. The Dust Bowl added to the misery of the Great Depression, highlighting the vulnerability of farmers and the power of nature. Section 5. Unemployment soars. Dreams turn to dust. With businesses failing and factories closing down, unemployment skyrocketed to unprecedented levels. Millions of Americans found themselves out of work, struggling desperately to feed their families. People lost their homes, their possessions, and their sense of security. Shantytowns, called Hoovervilles, sprang up on the outskirts of cities, providing makeshift shelter for the homeless and destitute. The Great Depression shattered the American dream for millions, leaving them feeling utterly hopeless and uncertain about the future. Section 6. Hoovervilles and breadlines, symbols of despair. The Great Depression created enduring images of hardship and despair. Hoovervilles became potent symbols of poverty and homelessness. Named after President Herbert Hoover, who many blamed for the crisis, they represented the government's failure to address the suffering. Breadlines, where people lined up for hours to receive food handouts, became another stark reminder of the widespread hunger and desperation. Charities and churches struggled to meet the overwhelming need. These images captured the profound human toll of the Great Depression, highlighting the plight of ordinary Americans struggling to survive. Section 7. A New Deal for a Nation in Need. In 1932, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was elected president, a beacon of hope in a time of despair. He promised a new deal for the American people, a bold and ambitious plan to lift the nation out of the depths of the Great Depression. Roosevelt's New Deal introduced a series of programs and reforms aimed at providing relief, recovery, and reform. These initiatives were designed to address the immediate needs of the suffering population and to lay the groundwork for long-term economic stability. The New Deal created jobs through public works projects such as building dams, bridges, and roads. These projects not only provided employment but also improved the nation's infrastructure, which was crucial for future economic growth. It provided financial assistance to farmers and the unemployed, offering a lifeline to those who had been hardest hit by the economic downturn. Programs like the Agricultural Adjustment Act helped stabilize crop prices and supported struggling farmers. It also introduced reforms to regulate the stock market and the banking system. The Securities Act and the Banking Act were pivotal in restoring public confidence in the financial system, ensuring that such a catastrophic economic collapse would not happen again. The New Deal marked a turning point in American history, expanding the role of the federal government in addressing economic and social problems. It set a precedent for future government intervention in the economy and established a safety net for the most vulnerable citizens. The legacy of the New Deal can still be felt today, as it laid the foundation for modern social welfare programs and regulatory policies. Section 8. The legacy of the New Deal: relief, recovery, reform. The New Deal had a profound and lasting impact on American society. It provided immediate relief to millions suffering from unemployment and poverty. It also laid the foundation for economic recovery, though full employment wouldn't return until World War II. The New Deal also introduced significant reforms, such as Social Security, which provided a safety net for the elderly, unemployed, and disabled. It also strengthened labor unions and regulated financial institutions. The New Deal's legacy continues to shape American society today, demonstrating the government's responsibility to promote economic security and social welfare. Section 9. The Great Depression's enduring impact on American society. The Great Depression left an indelible mark on American society, affecting every aspect of life from the economy to the social fabric of communities. It shattered the illusion of endless prosperity and highlighted the interconnectedness of the economy, showing how the collapse of one sector could ripple through the entire system. It also led to a significant loss of faith in traditional institutions, such as banks and the government, as people felt betrayed by those they had trusted with their financial security. The experience of the Great Depression fostered a sense of resilience and community. People learned to rely on each other more than ever before, creating strong bonds and networks of support. People helped each other, sharing what little they had. This spirit of cooperation and mutual aid was a crucial survival mechanism during those tough times. It also fueled a desire for social and economic justice, as the stark inequalities and hardships faced by many led to calls for change and reform. This desire for change led to support for government programs that protected the vulnerable, such as Social Security and unemployment insurance, which were designed to provide a safety net for those in need. The Great Depression's legacy can still be felt today in Americans' attitudes towards government, the economy, and social responsibility. The lessons learned during that time continue to influence policies and perspectives, reminding us of the importance of community, resilience, and the need for a fair and just society. Section 10. Echoes of the Past. Lessons for the Present. In our fast-paced, ever-changing world, it's crucial to look back and understand the events that have shaped our current economic landscape. The Great Depression offers valuable lessons for the present. This period of severe economic downturn, which began in 1929 and lasted through the late 1930s, was marked by widespread unemployment, bank failures, and a significant decline in industrial production. It reminds us of the importance of responsible financial practices, both at the individual and national levels. Families had to stretch every dollar, carefully budgeting their limited resources to survive. This era teaches us the value of saving, investing wisely, and avoiding excessive debt. It also highlights the dangers of income inequality and the need for a strong social safety net. The stark contrast between the wealthy and the poor became even more pronounced during this time, leading to widespread suffering and hardship. The Great Depression teaches us that economic crises can happen even in prosperous times. No nation is immune to financial turmoil, and it's essential to be prepared for unexpected downturns. The closure of factories and mass unemployment serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of economic stability. It underscores the importance of government intervention to mitigate the effects of recessions and protect the most vulnerable. Programs like the New Deal, which provided relief and employment opportunities, played a crucial role in helping the nation recover. By studying the Great Depression, we can learn from past mistakes and build a more resilient and equitable society. Understanding the policies and strategies that were implemented and their outcomes allows us to make informed decisions today. This historical perspective is invaluable in crafting policies that promote economic stability and social well-being for all. Section 11. Conclusion: Remembering the Great Depression. The Great Depression was a defining moment in American history. It tested the nation's spirit and transformed its institutions. The lessons learned from this challenging era continue to shape our understanding of economics, government, and the human condition. As we face new challenges in the 21st century, it is essential to remember the Great Depression and the importance of collective action, social responsibility, and economic justice. By learning from the past, we can strive to build a more stable and equitable future for all.